Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Today I want to do this video on the next steps for the Sacramento Kings. If you enjoy this video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Yo, I want to start off by saying big ups. Big ups to Sacktown. Yo, they spent the last 16, 17, 18 years in NBA moratorium. I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves won more than they did. It was sad. It was horrible. The Charlotte Hornets won more than they did. It was terrible. Going through the DeMarcus Cousins rendition of themselves, going through the Luke Walton head coach catastrophe. I mean, it's been really bad. It's been really bad. And as somebody who lives in Northern California and has observed this team and known of this team since the glory days of Chris Webber and Vlade Divac, Doug Christie, Peja Stojakovic, Bobby Jackson, Mike Bibby, even Jason Williams, White Chocolate himself, the legacy of winning in Sacramento had completely faded. And then new hope came maybe about 5 years ago in the draft with De'Aaron Fox. And this draft pick with De'Aaron Fox was new hope because he had a talent. He had a talent that could not be denied or ignored. Really, they were looking at him or Lonzo Ball, or really of the talented point guards in that draft were Markelle Fultz, and you had guys like Jason Tatum in there as well. It was a loaded draft. And they got De'Aaron Fox, and that was their first moment of hope. But of course, bad coaching, Luke Walton, it kind of stayed rough for a minute. But then they began to figure it out. Under new ownership, after some trial and error, they went out and got a real coach. And kudos and big ups to Mike Brown, coming from the Golden State Warriors, who has had his ups and downs as a head coach. One thing I always try to remind people is that coaches, just like players, have a learning curve. They come in with talents and abilities, but then they actually have to, what they say, cut their teeth, right? They have to actually get into the grind. They have to learn some hard lessons, and through that, they're able to improve. And Mike Brown surely has. Coming from the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James completely laying an egg there, and failing to be the coach that they needed, to go into the Los Angeles Lakers, laying an egg there, and eventually landing with the Golden State Warriors, where he was able to learn next to Steve Kerr, Alvin Gentry, under that regime of Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors, and he learned how to find balance as a coach in a beautiful way, the same way Jason Kidd had to learn, the same way a lot of other coaches have had to learn. And this year, he's been the coach of the year, the best coach, probably one of the biggest and best turnarounds that we've seen from a franchise in probably the history of the NBA. I mean, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but damn it, when you haven't made the playoffs in 16 to 18 years, you know what? Hey, you get a motherfucking Coach of the Year award to get that team in there the first year that you're there. Hell yes. He brought a lot of new guys together. He made some hard decisions around starting this guy and not this guy. Kudos to the front office, who also said, you know what? I know we got this amazing talent in Tyrese Halliburton, but what we need is a big man to bring balance to the floor with De'Aaron Fox. And so they went out and they traded for Domantas Sabonis. I thought it was a great pickup. I thought it was a great trade, even though I love Tyrese Halliburton as well, and we see his star rising with the Indiana Pacers. And yet, last season they missed out on the playoffs again. But what I observed was a lot of that was due to injuries, a lack of chemistry, a lack of coaching, and they struggled. But you could see it. You could see the potential. You could see the seeds of something really interesting forming in Sacramento. And this season it came to fruition with the high draft pick of Keegan Murray, who has played spectacular as a rookie, who actually had a really strong playoff showing, especially towards the second half of that first round series against the Golden State Warriors. He actually had one of the better plus minuses of that starting five. This team has truly come together. Mike Brown has put guys in the right position to be successful, and even though they lost in Game 7, at home, nonetheless, you still have something to be excited about with this team. And now they move into the offseason. And these are the next steps. One, you have two options. Harrison Barnes, you either let him walk or you do a sign and trade. More than likely, I think you let him walk. At 30 years old, you know who he is. And the reality is, Keegan Murray has already surpassed him. Does he have the same level of experience? No. He's in his early 20s. Harrison Barnes is 30. He's a veteran. And other teams need him and are going to be willing to pay him. Memphis Grizzlies, who can use somebody who's mature, can shoot it from the outside, who will be consistent, who's somewhat of an Iron Man, stays healthy relatively, is a versatile defender, but most importantly, he's an adult in the locker room. He's mature. But that's not necessarily what the Sacramento Kings are needing. What the Sacramento Kings need is to actually create some space for Keegan Murray and also to improve their athleticism and length within the front court. Because one thing that we recognize in this series was, as good as Domantas Sabonis has been this season, he might even make All-NBA. He was an All-Star. I don't know if he's built yet for the playoffs. And I want to explain that. Something that we saw happen with the Los Angeles Clippers, Blake Griffin, an amazing power forward, right? All-NBA performer, Hall of Fame career, right? Maybe not first ballot, but he'll get in. What you saw was his limitations when it came to playing up against great forward defenders, whether it was guys like Draymond Green or even guys like Kevon Looney, who's not even necessarily considered a great defender, but is no slouch at all. And he got actually dominated. And a lot of that was due to his lack of length and athleticism, and that is going to be the key for this offseason. They need to get athletic and longer to be able to defend the rim and to be able to play above the rim to grab rebounds that Domantas Sabonis and his shorter arms can't quite get. So as we look into this offseason, the Sacramento Kings have a lot to be excited about. They also have some moves that they definitely need to make, and they need to make them fast, and they need to be exact. Let me know in the comments section who you think the Sacramento Kings should pursue this offseason. Remember, they still got Trey Lyles up for a contract, who's a free agent this offseason as well. But let me know who you think. I'm going to holler at y'all in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.